Micky, just had a word with Josh Dakers-Cogley, and he's saying it's been a really good week in training.
Yeah, they always train. They always train well, but the lads, to be fair, but we're now being tough on ourselves, and we're saying to ourselves now we have to carry that on into the weekend. Now we were disappointed with the performance at Grimsby, all or most of the performance, and I think it's important that we say that and recognise that for the people who travelled and the supporters. We didn't believe that we were where we should be, but they've worked hard this week, and we should expect us to be back to ourselves on Boxing Day and getting more of a Tranmere performance from the first whistle.
You know, when you have these periods, and you've been in the game long enough to know that they come as sure as eggs are eggs, do you try and look at doing things a little bit differently in training, try and change things around a little bit just to freshen it up, or do you sort of stick with the tried and tested, or are you somebody who's always changing things in any case and always trying to add new bits and pieces?
Really, it's a wee bit of everything, really. But what you're trying to do, I mean, by now we with the group of players that we have, we've designed a way of playing that we think can get us wins and get us results. So what it's about now is getting back to the basics and working hard at being good at that again. We didn't think that we competed well enough from the start and hit the tempo well enough, which is a basic, really. We should do more of that. Or we should do that. That should be a given anyway. So this week has been about, again, making the lads recognise the tempo that we want to play at, the aggression that we want to play at, doing the things that we know that we can do as a team to try and score some goals and keep clean sheets. So it's just about that, getting back onto the basics again and doing it with the right tempo and being good at them. You don't suddenly throw everything out the bathwater, if you like, but so we just get back to that again.
Yeah, because when results aren't going your way and you've waited a long time for a victory, sometimes the players at all kinds of levels begin to play a little bit safety first and not sort of try and play. I mean, it isn't something that they're meant to do. It's just a psychological aspect of losing confidence. But tempo is one of the first things that can go, isn't it?
Well, you've always got to be careful of as well as talking about bad results and things like that, where
I just mean lack of wins, really.
Yeah, lack of wins.
You've had a lot of draws.
But we've had 5 games out of the last 6, I think, away. So we've had a lot of away games. We lost one in penalty kicks. So we've got to be careful. We're drawn away at Swindon and drawn away at Northampton. These kind of results you would take as a minimum in any other. So they're decent results. But we haven't played at home for a wee while now. But what we will be is honest and recognise that on Saturday, out of all the sort of 5 performances, I think, away from home that we've had, including Button and all these kind of places, Saturday wasn't good enough. We didn't perform well enough, but Northampton we did, Swindon we did, and with a wee bit of clinical finishing, could have won their games. Button away, we're losing a penalty shootout at a League One club. So we've got to be careful about that. Of course, we want to try and win every game, but we have had a lot of away games. But now, got the opportunity now to play at home. We'll look forward to that. But what we've got to get back to is the Northampton performances, the Swindon performances, the Button performances, which we have done in the last 5 games, and go and try and add goals to that. Like I've spoke about, we have missed some big opportunities within the games that if we take, we probably win. So we just got to get back to that again. There's no big massive panic. It's still about this group moving ahead, still about this group improving. And part of that is getting back to consistency of what we do as a team in order to try and get results. And now we get a game at home in order to go and try and do that.
Clinical finishing is the key at any level, isn't it?
Goals win your games. We need to create the chances, which we have been doing, and then we have to be ruthless and take them. And I keep saying Saturday apart. We were really poor performance Saturday. Can't get away from that. But we get the opportunity to put ourselves back on track on Boxing Day now. Have a good crowd there, good atmosphere. Should be a good game. Doncaster are a good side. So as Cog said, we have worked very hard at the tempo and the aggression, doing the things that we should do as a team. I think Nick is a decent team, so we'll just get back to that again.
And Prenton Park on Boxing Day, you remember it as a player as well. There's something quite special, and they can help to give you lift off.
Yeah, the crowd are always terrific. We've got to now match that. We didn't do that on Saturday. I keep going back to that because I don't want people to think that we've let ourselves off the hook and we don't have standards here. We have to match the enthusiasm that the crowd will bring, and we have to be the Tranmere team that I know that we can be, scoring goals. We have to do that. We have to do more of that. But we know what we have to do well in order to do that, and we'll get back to that again.
And 3 games in 6 days, it's a tough old schedule, isn't it?
It is. And it is when we don't have a huge squad of sort of experienced League Two players, if you like, that to draw upon if we did pick up anything. But we'll work them smartly over the next few days, making sure that we get the loads right and make sure that they're the best way prepared as possible in order to be as fresh as we need to be for Boxing Day's game. In between matches, do you just sort of, is it pretty light stuff, or working on tactics, or do you have set routines for these periods when, you know, the load has to be lighter? Yeah, you have to look at it now and say that when they play a game and then there's another quick game after that, there's nothing much that you can do in between in terms of getting them out on the grass other than to try to get them recovered. You try and get them recovered, but then work on the things that you know you're going to have to react to from the game before, and then get prepared for the next game. We have ways of doing that, so there'll be no excuses. We'll be ready for that. We've done that for many years now. We'll get the loads right, we'll get the training sessions right, we'll get the classroom work right, and then the players will be prepared and just get on the pitch and perform them. Yeah, and good results at this time, so close together. You're only 6 points away from the playoff places as it is. Yeah, we're concentrating on performance and consistency and all that kind of things, because as we keep saying, and as we are working with a group that's learning all the time, but standards now that have been set, and when they fall below them, we're tough on them. So if we hit the standards that we know that we can over the next few days in games, we know that we can be a threat to anybody, and if we do that, we collect the points that's necessary, we can close the gap on that playoff pack. But we have to make sure that first and foremost turn up at the first whistle and show the qualities that's needed to get a result. Any injury news, Micky? Any players available? Yeah, we're still waiting on a few. Still trying to get Joel back fit, and he got 45 minutes the other day, so he's moving towards things, but not quite there yet. But he's certainly moving in the right direction. We get Jordan Turnbull back after suspension now. That's a big plus, isn't it? Yeah, he's a big leader for us. And then we get Simeon back after the next game, so he comes back into the group again. If the game was today, we wouldn't have Elliot Nevitt. He's not trained. So apart from that, the ones that have been injured are still injured. You've mentioned before about, you know, you're not best blessed numbers wise, you know, in terms of depth of squad. And you were going really well at one point, and then Jordan Turnbull and Turnbull and Simeon, injury, suspensions. It makes a difference, doesn't it? You know, when they've built a partnership in double quick time and they're not available. Yeah, it does. Partnerships all over the pitch are important. When you lose them, yeah, you're quite right to say that. But everybody's here to play. So the other players that have come in have done well. Tom Davis has done well. They've come in and done well. And it gives other people the opportunity. If you're at Tranmere and we sign you, you're here to play. What we're expected today is go and give us performances, doing the jobs that we are quite clear on the players about what they have to do. And when they don't do that, sometimes it's difficult for us to change that. That's the thing we've said before. But with the injured players and suspended players coming back now, the threat is there that if you don't perform, then we can replace you. We'd probably like to be able to do that over more of the pitch, but I'm not able to do that. But we just have to keep pushing forward and making the players perform the way that we need them to perform.
And finally, what's Christmas Day going to be like in the Mellon household? What's the plan of attack?
Christmas dinner, and the family will come Boxing Day. The kids are all up and moved away now, so we'll all sort of get together over the next weeks. I've got Evie at home now, is my youngest daughter, so she'll be here. So it's same as everybody else, turkey and all the rest of it. So no, looking forward to it. I love Christmas. Love everything that goes with it, and then I love the football at the Christmas period as well. So hopefully we can get the supporters of a present of a good victory in Boxing Day.
It's always been a big part of Christmas. If you're a football person, whether that's a player, a manager, a fan, Christmas is special. Those Christmas games.
Yeah, you get used to it. You know that the players know that they've got to have one eye on Boxing Day all the time, which they do. They're a good professional group, and then get up Boxing Day and get prepared for a game of football. But the football at this time of the year is great. It's great to be involved in as a manager and a player. We don't mind. So we've been Christmas Day training as we normally do. I quite enjoy seeing the players on Christmas Day anyway. And I don't know if all of them enjoy it, but they seem to enjoy it. We all get in for a quick 45 minutes and have a wee kind of top up and get best prepared as we can, and they'll come with their jumpers on and all the rest of it, and then we'll get ourselves home with our families and then get prepared for Boxing Day.